Professor Nalapat, right from the 2011 Arab Spring to what we saw this year in Syria, and all over these several years, we've seen several protests, uprisings, chaotic situations, citizens particularly also speaking out against the dictatorships prevalent in their respective countries. Do you see any sort of resolution happening? Do you see, perhaps with a Donald Trump coming in, there's going to be a tighter hand in dealing with West Asian countries and that they should be having democratic processes? How do you see that? Do you see any sort of resolution, at least in the near future?
Well, Shreya, sadly, I'd like to say no. I mean, when the 2011 Arab Spring took place, I had said that it's going to be a Wahhabi winter and extremists will take over. And they did in a number of countries. But fortunately, in some of them, the moderates recovered and got back power. So frankly, I don't see what you're calling democracy anytime soon. In Syria, for example, the country is headed for absolute chaos. There are at least 5 or 6 recognized factions in this present government. And there are actually about 130 formations, which are basically, as Mr. Aga mentioned, of a Daesh orientation, which is hatred against anyone who does not have a very hard-line view of religion, a view which, frankly, is not promoted at all by the religion itself. And it's a fringe within a fringe. Unfortunately, fringe within the fringe is the most organized, and they tend to run the show. They tend to come to the front of the show. It happened in Egypt. Mohammed Morsi of the Brotherhood was made the president before he was, Egypt was taken over by General al-Sisi. Morsi would have been a disaster. But anyway, I don't see anything. And as for Donald Trump, he has got some very good picks, I must say, in the cabinet. And his focus is not going to be very much on West Asia. It's going to be on China, Europe, and very much on India as well. So I don't see much of an interest in West Asia for a simple reason that oil has ceased to be very dominant where West Asia is concerned. You've got Russia, you've got the shale sands of the US are now going to be emptied of their oil by Donald Trump. You've got so many other oil finds that West Asia is becoming much less important in the global oil market. And therefore, as has correctly been said by the previous discussants, the interest is also subsiding. I don't see Donald Trump basically bothered about, what we call the Middle East, Shreya.